away we go.
All right.
So good evening.
Good evening. I would like to call the groundbreaking ceremony to order at 5:03 on August 14th, 2024. I'd like to welcome all of you here for the wonderful groundbreaking ceremony. This has been 10 years in the making. We started this process probably 10 years ago, looking at our options for building a new elementary school or renovating one we already have, or doing a addition on a current building, and finally it all came together working with the city and finding the land to purchase and then building this wonderful school that all of our students and staff well deserve, and we're really looking forward to the opening in July of 2025. And I'd like to turn it over to our superintendent to share some words.
Thank you. Chair Harrington, I am thrilled to be here. And what a beautiful day to come together as a community to celebrate the beginning of something truly special. Today we break ground on a project that represents more than just bricks and mortar. This new elementary school is going to be a symbol of our district's commitment to our future, which is our children. This school will be a place where every child can thrive, where learning is not just about academics, but it's about nurturing curiosity, creativity, and a love for discovery. Here we will build a culture where all means all, where every child, regardless of their background and circumstance, is given the opportunity and support to flourish. I want to thank everyone who was involved in this project. Your hard work and dedication has made today possible. It has also cemented, no pun intended, our unwavering belief in the power of education to change lives. Together, let's make this school a place where children's dreams take root and grow strong. Thank you again for being here.
And I'd like to introduce our Commissioner of Education, Frank Edelblut, to say a few words.
Did you guys notice the drone in the background there? It's quite cool, isn't it?
Go to the neighbors.
So I just want to thank the community for inviting me to come out on this very special occasion. It is not a frequent occurrence, but a very important one and kind of a milestone in a community when you undertake a project of this magnitude. And so we so appreciate the investment that the leadership in Rochester, the citizens of Rochester, are making in their future and in the children of the city of Rochester and in their futures. So thank you for that. We have high aspirations for all of them, and I know that they will succeed under your leadership. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce the Mayor of Rochester, Paul Callahan, if you'd like to share a few words.
Thank you, Sarah.
No pressure.
I just want to repeat what you heard. Thank you for everybody that's been involved in this project. It's a long time coming, and I think it's going to be great for the students, the staff, and the teachers of Rochester to have the opportunity to be in a brand new state-of-the-art school, and it'll be a great opportunity for everybody. I want to thank the prior superintendent, Kyle, a prior city manager, Blaine Cox, and a prior school board chair for being involved in this project. They were deeply involved in it, and appreciate the work that everybody from the city and the school has done to make this possible. Thank you.
I think everybody can be in the photo that wants to be in the photo, and we'll go over here, and some of you folks that have spoke maybe get the hard hats on and the
Yeah, we have 8
shovel.
people that will have.
you know who they are
Yeah.
that you want to do that with. Did anybody else want to say anything? Because we're sort of cross-pollinating between school and town here, so if we miss anybody, we don't mean to.
You're going to get a shovel.
We'll see how much money. Well, yeah, we usually get
The guys who are doing all the work. What's the we have decided right? 8 people over there.
Yes, they do.
School shovels.
20 years ago in the state senate for my school children. I've not worn it, so it's an education tie.
You saved it for this day and everything.
I saved it for this day.
Do you have to like pretend we're digging?
So if you don't like the fish, you'll put your foot on it. Everybody put one foot on the shovel. Look at the camera. Say cheese.
Okay, now look at this Fabulous.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Rochester School Board, Rochester City Council Joint Building Committee meeting to order at 6 p.m. on August 14th, 2024. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. For those able, please rise. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2, approval of the July 10th, 2024 minutes.
So moved. Second.
There being a motion by Mr. Pappas and a second by Mr. Hammond. Any discussion, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3 is our construction manager update. I'd like to welcome Jason.
So I'm going to say some things you guys all know since everybody was on site a few minutes ago, but we have now bought out a little over 96% of the subcontractors. We got, I think, 3 left. There are smaller guys that were resolving exactly what the school wants for scope. So all the big guys are bought out. We're getting submittals in right now. Things are moving forward on the paperwork side of things. As you guys saw when you were on site, the site work, we have 75% of the existing topsoil stripped off and moved away. Foundations are underway. We've got almost all of the A-wing done. C-wing, the formwork for the concrete is in place, and we're already excavating D-wing, which is the gymnasium. So concrete's actually slightly ahead of schedule, and we're still on pace to do steel in the middle of September. Roadways are about 75% complete. Retaining wall's underway, it's about halfway done. So things are going really smoothly site work-wise. And I'm looking ahead the next month or so for the future. Actually, we're on here that we're going to start C-wing. I'm slightly late on that. We got C-wing underway already. So we'll be starting D-wing within the next month. Next week, we're going to start doing the under-slab utilities. That's all the pipe work that's under the concrete slabs, primarily in the kitchen area. So we'll be digging that up. The mechanical contractor and the plumbing contractor will be on site putting those in the ground for us. Like I said, steel erection is going to be starting mid-September, approximately the 16th. We'll also be starting the CMU walls, the masonry walls in the gymnasium around the same time. And then next week, we'll be starting the masonry walls for the elevator shaft, which is kind of in the corner between B-wing and C-wing. So in the near future, in about the next 6 weeks, if you were to go back, you're going to start to see a building appear from what's currently a flat site.
Nice. Any questions or comments for Jason? It was really nice to be on site, and thanks for helping us with the
It's a pleasure.
groundbreaking ceremony. We really appreciate it.
We'll bring you back with some walls up.
Yeah, can't wait.
Sarah?
Yes.
I did
Yeah.
have one question.
Sure, Anna.
So before the whole project started and everything, like during the process, we heard a lot of talk about how that was all wetland out there, and, you know, we're building a school in the swamp. And I'm just wondering that now that you're pouring concrete, you're filling, you're doing this and that, how's the?
We've had no issues with water. If you can picture the site where our trailer is in the area that we have left trees, that's kind of the intense wet area of the property we're building on. The school got cited by the designers where it was dry. So in between the clear area and the street is a little wet, and as you notice as you drove in, there is what looks like to be a big pond there. That is a detention pond. That will be the pond. It's roughly graded already. So that's helping to control where the water is. But as you walk around the site, we're digging fine. We're not finding water. It's not a mess. It's been very clean and easy so far. I don't want to jinx it.
Knock on wood.
Thank
Great.
you.
Any
Thanks,
other
Jason.
questions or comments? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next item is our owner's representative report by Gordon.
Thank you, and I sort of inundated you with paper tonight, but it's not as much as it seems. So I wanted to show, we passed out schedules for you all. I've been getting them either online or 8.5 by 11. This is as of today. This was updated. And you can take these with you. It carries it out all the way through to the end of the project. And what we should be doing throughout this project is we will keep moving this blue line. And you'll see that, so every month when you get here, that next month it'll be, well, this is the old slide because we put the slides together before today's update. But,
Oh.
so the one you have in front of you supersedes this. But the blue line will be where you are on every month, and that's what you have in front of you. The nice thing about it is, to read it, you see we do it by category, permits and procurement. We have things such as dealing with our long lead items, which, by the way, we want to talk about. One of the long lead items that we got together this month as a team. Everybody was, again, feeling the pressure of that main distribution electrical panel. We have resolved that. We have contracted with a company called ABB. ABB's been for years getting into the United States. It's a well-known company. That's where we're getting it from instead of a Siemens or whatever. It will be here April 1. They are guaranteed to have it here April 1. That works out fine for us because we will be running the building on startup power before that, so that the building can be tempered for all of your finishes, because by April 1 we already will be painting, putting carpet down, and so we'll need air handlers moving. But then they will come in with the main distribution panel on April 1. Takes them about a month to do it. They'll be done by May 1, May 15th at the latest. So we're going to be fine with that. If you take this to the fast forward to the end, you see final cleaning of the 3 sections of the building. We have one in May 22nd, the gym will be done. We have our July 18th, 2 of the classroom wings will be done, and August 4th, the other classroom wings will be done. So we'll be assured to move in on time. But those you'll be able to track along here and keep it as a little cheat sheet for yourself so you can see it a little better than what you have on the screen. We have the kitchen bids came in, and they came in higher than we had anticipated. We had anticipated around $350,000 to $400,000 for the kitchen. It came in the high 400,000. So we went back to the drawing board and said, what have we done to make it this? What did our engineers do to make it this price? What did our kitchen designer do? And we found some items. Again, we'll equate it to a car. You know, you can still get a nice Cadillac, but it doesn't have to be the Escalade. It can be, you know, maybe be the 4-door. So we went back. Nothing that's going to compromise you. We did nothing that's going to be less quality. It's just in some cases, come on, we had some belts and suspenders on this stuff. So we've rebid it out. It's due in August 20th. And I'm feeling comfortable that we're going to come in the mid 300s at that point to 400. So let's see where we are, and we have the money for that. That's what we have set aside. But if you're wondering why that wasn't bought, we sent them back to the drawing board. Speaking of choices that we make, any choice we make, you've got a 20-plus year bond here. We're building you a 30-year school at a minimum. We don't compromise on anything that you're going to be paying for it that long. What we put in this building has got to last that long. So we're not buying anything that's going to die on you in the first 5 years or 10 years. Yes, Madam Chair.
The new specs doesn't change the plumbing requirements, so they can still move forward with
Exactly.
plumbing.
We coordinate. We have weekly coordination meetings, and that has not changed. So what's an example of something? They had a double wide refrigerator. There's so much refrigeration in the building, we went to a single wide. So again, that doesn't affect the plumbing. The electrical is fine because it's the same. So too on plumbing, if we change the sink, did it change where it moved? No, it didn't. So I have told them we have no impact on them. Next item, inspection, City of Rochester. In case you got any little bit of scuttlebutt at the offices, the first couple of inspections, we on the construction side, it's always the first one you do that doesn't quite go smoothly, and we had that same situation. We didn't know what the town wanted to see. They came over. They weren't necessarily that pleased with Harvey. Everybody has gotten together and is happy again. But this was purely a matter that will happen on the first go-round of anything that you have. But I just tell you all that in case anybody says, oh, you know, we had a little controversy over there. We saw it as a couple-hour blip on the screen, and now we're all back shaking hands and going on just fine.
Was it just some screening things?
Well,
or gates, or?
when you're doing concrete, it's what do they want to see? And it's a judgment call because we document everything. So you've got, like you saw tonight, you've got rebar. You've got some of it being poured over here. You've got forms that are being poured over here that don't have the same kind of rebar. What is it that the town wanted, or excuse me, the city wanted to see?
Okay.
And that's all it was. we misjudged on the construction side what they wanted to see, and they came over and we're like, and that was fine.
Okay,
That's part of every,
yeah,
but we want to tell you when something like that happens, so that if you hear about it.
thank you.
The next big purchase is on the owner side. The Promethean boards are ready to be purchased. We've put those out, and we've gotten a good price. We had carried around $140,000 for those. They've come in at $122,000. What I do at a time like this is I keep it at the $140,000 because you never know what you're going to bump up against. We don't give that money back, but that'll be something that at the end of the project, you know, that extra $18,000 can go to something else that you choose. And we look to be doing the furniture purchases in October. So that's what's coming down the road there. And that is all I had except for your questions. Yes, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, just a quick question on the kitchen equipment. Can you give us a little bit more detail, because it seemed like the price is around 35% different than what you anticipated. So you're obviously cutting back. What are you cutting back if it's not quality?
Okay. Well, here's an example. We had really carried it, the joke, the kitchen sink. You know, you throw it in the kitchen sink. So, for example, we had a type of a steamer that they don't use anywhere else in the school system. We went and started comparing, and Jim Paterno was a great help on that, by the way.
I can speak to this if you
Oh.
like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But for some reason, they inspect the tilt skillet and the tilt kettle. We don't use tilt kettles anywhere. So that's like a $40,000 hit that we didn't need, we're not gonna use. Food Services doesn't want it.
Okay, so that 35% adjustment is actually what we really want, it sounds like.
Yes.
Not really cutting what we want.
No, it's getting
Correct.
down to what we want.
Yeah, okay.
We would have caught it at the time we went to the line items, but it was like it just jumped out at us. So we then, and we did that in a number of other places. For example, on racking that you can have this kind of racking, or you can have a racking that's not colored black, and it's 10% cheaper.
Okay.
Those are the kind, so that's where we didn't compromise on quality. It was things like judgmentals, things like that. But that's a good example.
There was also a Hobart, I think 40-quart mixer. We sold off all our mixers because our insurance company doesn't want us using them. So why would we buy a new one?
Right.
And that was $20,000. So there was a couple big items that we didn't want, wouldn't use, and it was easy just to take them off the top.
Good enough.
Yep. That's what we do across the board, by the way, on everything. Things come. Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the status on doing solar?
We have to do nothing on solar except to make sure that the building can hold the solar. We haven't gone out to talk to any solar companies yet because we're kind of busy getting a momentum going on the project.
Right.
But the building has been designed that it can withstand solar being on the roof. So that's built into it, but we have not gotten to any companies. We would talk actually with the city at that point and see what you all have going on
Right.
and see what synergies we have.
That's where I was gonna go with
Okay.
it. Let's be on the same page with the city.
Right.
That's,
Because that was gonna be my next.
financially
So that
bad
was,
move.
so we aren't gonna be in a void. I've been putting it off to wait, but we have built a building to handle it.
Okay.
All right.
I have another question back to the kitchen equipment. So you mentioned the refrigerator going from like 2 to 1. Would that still accommodate 420 students?
Okay, we'll get into a little bit of the weeds with it then. So you have a walk-in freezer and a walk-in refrigerator. Those weren't changed. Out in parts of the kitchen, again, this is what your kitchen designers do. They have put a couple of extra refrigerators. Well, you didn't need one that big to be out. You've already got your storage one out back. So again, we're not compromising anything like that. We're not taking away a sink that somebody needed. It's really into the judgmental things that you ask somebody to design it, they design it good, no fault of theirs, but now it's like, oh, okay, wait a minute, this didn't come in at our price point, so what can we do?
And then for the furniture purchases, input was solicited from elementary teachers in our district, right?
We didn't seek input from the teachers. What we did is this was done under Dave Toddy's time, and we went and took what you have been using so that we're not putting anything. So we have not had a committee of teachers. If that's something you want to suggest to us, there's time to do. But what we didn't do there is we've looked at a conference room like this, and we've said, make it look like this one, because this is one that you're,
Yeah.
so that's how we did it. We took what you're using. Same thing on chairs. We go back again with Jim Letourneau's been a big help. What is it that the facilities folks need? They don't want to come in and have chairs that are scratching the floor.
Yeah.
So those kinds of inputs, what's your experience as you currently have?
Okay.
All right?
Just to speak to that, I don't know if you remember Harry Prue.
Yep.
We've contracted him to go through our furniture lists
Oh, okay.
and make sure that we're getting
Great.
what fits into the schools, what we can move to clean the schools.
Great.
He's going through everything line by line,
Okay.
making sure we get the right cabinetry.
Great.
Just an extra set of eyes, because that's what he did for 20 years.
Yeah. All right.
He was small dollars, and Dave contracted with him early on,
Okay.
and he tells us what's on the mind. Yes, sir.
On the topic of solar arrays, I know we have space on the top of the buildings, but if, just something to keep in mind for future meetings, if there's space on the ground for additional solar arrays, maybe that's an opportunity too. Just some food for thought.
Good.
Do we have a fence around any of the retention ponds planned to keep kids out of it?
We don't have our site people, I don't have it committed to memory, but typically we take those safety factors into mind.
Right, and I don't know if those detention ponds are meant to hold water or to dissipate it, but if it's required by code, the civil will have that.
Yeah, we do take into account that kids can wander in there and have distress. So we'll look at it again, but
Just one other question. At what point do we start talking about the gym floor, wood versus rubber?
we want that to be a top-notch presentation. So Harvey was going to come tonight and do that. We talk as a committee a few days ahead, and we determined, let's have it be a little bit of a more smooth presentation. We want to have it be you folks are very intelligent and can comprehend these things, so let's have it be A, B, C, D, what's the difference? Touch and feel what the different floors are. So we thought this was about a month early. So the plan is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is we're going to come next month and talk about the gym floor. And the reason that's critical is if for some reason that were to change and become, for some reason, a totally wooden floor, we need to know that to recess our concrete. We don't think you're going to go that way, but that's why there's an urgency to come to you next month and talk about it.
Thank you.
But yeah, that wants to be a really super presentation. Anything else?
Anything else for Gordon? Thank you for the schedule, that's helpful. All right. Okay, item 5 is other. Does anyone have anything under other? In your backup, you'll also find a monthly report.
Yes, Madam Chair, sorry I didn't explain. We get that, and I figured again this month, let's inundate you with paper, so we gave you the whole report. That's what we use as part of our Bible as one of the tools. We use many things, but we share that with you. We can send it electronically every month if you like what you're seeing. But it's more this month, let's just get it out at you.
Yeah, I would just ask if we can have it electronically in advance of the meeting, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Is that
We can do
doable?
that.
Great. Thank you. All right, anything else under other? Okay, item 6 is public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address the JBC?
I got nothing.
All right.
Other than a good job to the construction site people, they're doing fantastic. It's like a big orchestra over there.
Thank you. Thanks for the drone footage. I
You're welcome.
always look forward to seeing it.
It's fun.
All right, I'll close public comment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Don Hammond, second by Alex DeJouvin. And non-debatable, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.